Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where I'm not finished with you. It's Lost in the Midcard. Hey, it's a regular Thursday show. It feels like it's been forever since we had one of those because our last two shows have been pay-per-view review shows. We actually don't even have a pay-per-view to review because WWE is actually taking a 3-week break from those instead of a 2-week break. So, but we will talk about a pay-per-view briefly. The Ring of Honor Best in the World is this Friday, so we'll cover that card. We'll talk Raw Smackdown, better shows overall. We'll give our thoughts on that, and I believe the ratings also kind of spoke to the better shows overall as well. We'll talk about all that, but first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes, any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard and hit that subscribe button so you know every time a new episode comes your way every Thursday and most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You also can find us on the YouTube. We got all those links on our notes section at facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. We are also on the Twitter at LITMC Podcasts, where we retweet the best of the professional wrestling world. And trust me, there's a lot of good stuff on the Twitter in the professional wrestling world. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at RawFShowtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, but I fear that the WWE is setting a dangerous precedent over the past two pay-per-views where their shows coming out of the pay-per-view were better than the actual pay-per-view itself.
Yeah. Well, at least with Raw, it was a good show and it wasn't coming out of a pay-per-view. I mean, are you counting like coming out of a SmackDown pay-per-view and going
No,
to Raw?
I'm counting out of Extreme Rules and I'm counting out of Money in the Bank. Both pay-per-views were one-match shows, which were overall pretty bad, and then they come back on Monday and Tuesday, and they deliver good shows on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah,
I think that's a bad precedence to set when you're going to say, hey, look, our pay-per-views are missable now, but you better tune into Monday Night Raw. That's a little weird.
Yeah, Vince is like, I already got your $9.99. Now I need your free TV.
That's a dangerous precedence to set.
Well, hopefully, Great Balls of Fire. I mean, it's shaping up to look decent, but so did Money in the Bank. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm amazed on how everybody's saying Great Balls of Fire with all seriousness, especially Samoa Joe. It's so funny when.
Well, he has to because he's in the main event.
Yeah. It's just funny. You have to say that with a serious tone. But Joe is on fire right now. I hope the impossible happens. But though at the same time, I don't know. I want Strowman and Lesnar too. So I don't know. I guess you could have. I don't know. I don't know how to do it to have Joe win the title and then Strowman and Lesnar still face at SummerSlam. I don't know how that's going to work, but we all know it ain't going to work, right? WWE 2K18 news. The cover man has been announced, and for the first time in a few years, it is not a legend. It is a legend in the making in the architect Seth Rollins. He graces the cover of 2K18. They released a little bunch of teasers on Twitter, and basically those turned out to be iconic things that Seth Rollins destroyed in the trailer on his way to Be Like No One, which is the tagline this year. On the press release each year, the WWE 2K franchise emerges with a unique identity, impeccable authenticity, and an incredible roster, and the freedom for players to customize and control the virtual WWE world through its extensive offerings, said Chris Schneider, Vice President of Marketing at 2K. In determining who truly epitomizes Be Like No One and represents WWE 2K18 to the fullest extent, There was one obvious answer, Seth freaking Rollins. Deluxe Edition also announced players who purchase the Deluxe Edition in physical and digital forms will get early access to the game, in-game bonuses beginning 4 days early on Friday, October 13th. The Deluxe Edition includes a copy of the game. That's kind of important. Access to the Season Pass content, access to the pre-order bonus digital content, and access to the Collector's Edition digital content. None of that stuff has been announced yet.
Well, I do want to go on record and say, bravo 2K, that you actually listened from your clusterfuck last year.
Yeah.
So whatever superstars are
Nakamura, right?
Yeah, to the Collector's Edition this summer, which I'm going to go on. I don't know this for a fact. I do know some things about the game that I can't really say, but I don't know for a fact who the Collector's Edition is. But if you had to put a gun to my head and I had to be right, I'm telling you right now that the WWE 2K18 Collector's Edition is going to have something to do with the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
And,
wonderful!
Yeah, and the fact that if they would not have been available in my Deluxe Edition, because I'm not buying no freaking physical Collector's Edition. I'm not doing it.
It looks like
if they wouldn't have been available again like the NXT Edition last year, I would have lost my mind.
Yeah. I saw a poster. I don't know if it was real or not. It had like Funko items and shit. Was that legit or not? Or did you
I don't know. I saw someone share that with me as well, and I don't know where it came from. So I don't know if that's legit or not. I know people were using that as a thing to like. I mean, that means Hogan is in. I haven't heard that. There is nothing I would like more than for Hulk Hogan to be in. But that's not something that I've heard as being accurate. But we can all cross our fingers and hope that that Hulkamania returns in WWE 2K18.
And once we go off the air, I'll have Matt tell me the details he can't tell on the air.
Dude, that's not even cool. Why do you do that to the people?
Well,
I will go on record right now. It has not been officially revealed by 2K yet, but Kurt Angle is the pre-order bonus for WWE 2K18.
Excellent.
They already filmed the commercial, similar in vein to the way they did the pre-order commercial for Goldberg. We're probably going to see that sometime in July. But Kurt Angle is the pre-order bonus for WWE 2K18. Some of you might have already known that or assumed that, but I am confirming that is 100% accurate. The Olympic Hero returns to WWE video games and is your current Raw general manager.
Lot better than the Terminator.
Well, yeah, it couldn't get much worse.
I wonder. I mean, we all hold our breath on online universe mode, but I just want more online content. Period. Yeah.
Maybe some kind of online league. I think would be really fun. Even like a you know how you can do like share play on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Like I wish you could do some kind of like online universe like that with Xbox. Just, being able to bring a friend into your offline universe game and they can play like the second player matches and stuff would make all the difference in replay value. I really hope my career is better this year. Oh my God. I hope my career is better this year because it has sucked 3 years in a row and I don't I don't even know what they're going to do this year. Please fix it.
We'll see. Once we get more information, we will pass it along to you here. I honestly did not play 2K17 much at all. I think I pre-ordered it. I think I have it, but yeah. I would say
that I played it more than 15 and 16.
But that's not saying much.
But that's not saying much because I played 15 like for 2 weeks, maybe. Like I might even be in general. Like I got the Xbox 360 version when it came out.
Yeah.
In October, and I played that all the way through to November when the Xbox One version came out. And I really think I played 2K15 for maybe 2 weeks before I got bored and had enough of it. 2K16, I played more than 2K15, but not by much. And yeah, 2K17 was my most played game of the 2K series so far, but it hasn't even come close to the replay value that I got out of the THQ series back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those games I was able to play from release all the way up until when the next one was coming out.
Well, last year was the first time they got rid of like the long, like the single player 10-hour story mode, Road to WrestleMania and shit, right?
Yeah, they had a Hall of Fame showcase DLC in the season pass.
Yeah.
Last year, but I mean, I don't even care about those modes.
But they got rid of those like to work on other things, right?
Well, they claim that, but I don't really see what the hell they worked on.
Yeah, so hopefully hopefully that shows its fate. I mean, sometimes those type of things
it takes a couple years.
Yeah,
I agree with that, but on an annual title, people want it now. You know what I mean? And I granted, I know the process. That shit just doesn't happen overnight, but hopefully this year we see the good thing about them not doing a story mode last year. But for all we know, there might be a story mode back this year. And if there is, I hope it's original stories. I really hope I hope it's no more of the replaying history crap.
Oh, I hope it's
I'm so sick of that shit.
I hope it's the Fashion Files.
Dude, you damn well know. Dude, we'll be lucky if Fandango and Breeze even have that damn gimmick on 2K18, let alone getting the Fashion Files.
Well, they've been doing the Fashion Popo thing for quite a while, so at least I think the gear.
Yeah, but I mean, like the current iteration that we've gotten over the last month and a half.
They'll be heels.
I would be surprised if we even get that in the game.
Yeah, they'll probably be heels, and you'll have to. One of the first things you go in and edit the roster and change them to baby faces because they'll probably be heels on the retail game.
Dude, I love everything about the Fashion Police right now.
Fuck yeah, I mean, and I'm so glad that they're over.
They got a T-shirt.
Oh, I have not seen that yet.
Yeah, it came out on Tuesday, the Fashion Popo.
I saw it. I shared it to you. Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm happy for those guys. They deserve it.
They do, especially Breeze and Fandango. I mean, those guys. I mean, Breeze could have easily been an NXT champion. Fandango was off to a hot start, beat Jericho at Mania. Breeze never got traction on the main roster, while Fandango did for a short time and then kind of faded away. And now they've gone from heel to babyface, and the people are just going nuts for them. So it's great to see. And much like Cesaro and Sheamus, a team that I liked from the beginning. Wasn't sure it was going to stick around, and kind of glad it is. And I think they'll be a staple in the tag division for a long time to come now. So, and I mean, hell, when you give them a pay-per-view segment for the Fashion Files, I mean, I know you had to kill some time because you only had 5 main card matches, or you added a 6th, but when you add them into a pay-per-view, off the top, not probably it was probably a decision that was made that afternoon. They probably had the footage in the can, waiting to use it probably on a SmackDown, but they decided to use it on a pay-per-view and parlay that into a 4-minute match. But that just tells you what the WWE thinks about them too. So hopefully a lot of people go and buy their shirts. But of course, hey, a lot of people went and bought Enzo and Cash shirts too, right, Matt? We'll talk about that in a minute. First 4 competitors for the Mae Young Classic have been announced. They include NXT talents Lacey Evans and Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan, better known as Crazy Mary Dobson. Toni Storm from the UK.
Yes.
And Princessa. I don't know. Suja Hit.
She's a champion down in CMLL right now.
Yep, Lucha Libre star. So, what do you think of the initial 4 there, Matt? I know 2 of them, obviously, and Lacey Evans, and I'm a big fan of Crazy Mary, and I know of Toni Storm, but have not seen much of her. What do you think?
I was going to say, if anybody follows me on Twitter, they know I am a very big fan and advocate of Toni Storm, and the fact that they're WWE's giving her this shot is fantastic. She definitely deserves it. I thought there was a good chance of her being in this, when she did an NXT match at Access WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
I figured if they're taking that much of a look at her, then like I think she's going to be involved in this. But I didn't want to jinx it. But yep, she's in. We've heard the other 10 names so far via PW Insiders. We've got like 14 of the 32 right now. Actually, no, because 2 of them were already on PW Insiders list. So we've got 12. We've got 12 of the 32.
Do you have that list handy? I have not seen it.
I do not have the list handy. Yeah, I would have to find it.
For some reason, I did not see that.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll see if I can find it. We can put the whole list together.
We'll bounce back to that in a minute. Rusev return update just announced. Actually, breaking news almost. It was just announced on PW Insider a few minutes ago that Rusev is set to make his in-ring return on SmackDown live shows. He is advertised on Sunday the 25th in a 3-way match for the United States Championship with Kevin Owens and Mojo Rawley. Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Jinder Mahal for the championship at that show as well. He is also advertised for the Monday House show in Bakersfield, California. Oh my God, did you see the tweet from Kevin Owens talking about wrestling on Monday, and the guy goes, "Oh, it's the wrong day, it's on SmackDown Live."
Yeah, I retweeted it.
Oh my God. Oh,
KO's the man.
KO roasted him.
I've got the list here. This will add 8 competitors. Like, they had 10 listed here, but 2 of them were already officially confirmed by WWE, so I'm going to, skip over them. I'm probably going to pronounce one of these names wrong. I apologize ahead of time. And that will be with the first one.
Get it out of the way.
Zhao Zia, the first Chinese woman to sign a developmental deal with the WWE, and was brought over as part of a group of Chinese trainees who have been working out in the WWE Performance Center. Zia is trained in martial arts and has had multiple first-place finishes in various martial artist and fitness competitions, including the Second World Traditional Chinese Wushu Championship, the Nike Challenge Competition, and First China Throwdown Battle of the Bund. Mary Kate, the former Rosie Lotta Love from TNA, was originally trained at the Team 3D Academy. She's lost a ton of weight since she was last seen in TNA. Had ran a tour of Japan and has been working on the indies here in the States. Bianca Belair, a former CrossFit and track star that was signed to WWE in April 2016. Danielle Camella, trained by Rikishi Knox Pro School in Arizona. Camella is an on-air personality for Fox Sports Arizona, an Arizona Cardinals cheerleader, and a former member of the Phoenix Suns dance team before signing a WWE deal. She was in the top 30 finalists for the most recent version of Tough Enough as well. Julia Ho.
Ho!
Yes, poor girl. Canadian model and MMA fighter who trained with Brian Kendrick before being signed. You have Kimberly Frankel, a.k.a. Kimberly, former Chikara Grand Champion. Victoria Gonzalez, the daughter of Rudy Boy Gonzalez. Gonzalez played basketball for 2 seasons at Texas A&M Kingsville before transferring to Sam Houston State, redshirting 1 year and playing another before graduating in 2013. She was signed to a WWE developmental deal last year, and rounded out with probably another name I'm unfortunately going to mispronounce, Tanera Melo, a black belt Jiu-Jitsu from Brazil who was signed last year. So that's official 12 of the 32 with the 4 confirmations from WWE. I'm also hearing rumblings Mae Yim will be in this, the formerly known as Jade from TNA, as well as her TNA partner in crime, Marty Bell. I've definitely heard rumors that both of them are going to be involved in this as well. And if that's the case, that'll be 14 of the 32 confirmed. So this should be an awesome tournament. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I would like to... Is there anybody else you'd like to see in this?
Oh, yeah, there's tons of people I'd like to see. I just don't know, like, contractually if they'll be able to. The 2 of the girls from Stardom that have recently signed with the company, I definitely would like to see both of them in there. I know the... Io Shirai, I believe is how you pronounce your name, just lost her Stardom Championship last night in Japan. So I think that might have been her wrapping up with Stardom. And if that's the case, there's a chance that both of them could be available for the tournament. That would be great. I think Taylor Hendricks leaving Ring of Honor a few months ago isn't a coincidence. And I think if she's healthy, I think she will probably pop up in this tournament.
Just
probably
Havoc?
A couple other. I don't know. She had that mess up with the WWE in a performance tryout due to the some fan sabotage online. Like, I don't know if they're going to bring her in. I'm really curious to see who all ends up being a part of this thing. So, I really hope it's going to be awesome, and it really should spark the entire women's division from NXT all the way up to the main roster.
Yeah.
And I mentioned on Sunday, the only thing the women haven't been able to do yet is have a Royal Rumble match.
Yeah.
And some of the argument people came at me with on Twitter is, well, they don't have 30 girls.
Yeah.
Well, they got 32 right here in this freaking tournament.
Yeah.
So I think they've got enough to do a Royal Rumble by January.
You don't need 30. You can do a 20.
You could, but they will have 30 easily.
Yeah.
By Royal Rumble time. I think a women's Royal Rumble and a men's Royal Rumble with a couple matches in between would be an awesome pay-per-view.
Oh,
I'd be
my
all
God.
about that.
Yeah.
I would love it.
It gives you, and then this gives you room to easily call up Asuka.
I think she would win the Rumble.
And I think you would still, keep Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, keep them as your top women. Keep them as your top heels. Keep them as make them champion, and then have some of your up and coming baby faces like your Sonya Deville, Liv Morgan. Have some of them kind of chase the heels. I think you could almost, if you get enough traction out of it, you could almost call up. I think may be able to call up Ember Moon as well. I'm not sure on that, but at the same time, if they don't, well, I mean, we've already had a long built-in feud with Ember Moon, Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce. So,
well, the great thing is once Asuka gets called up, let's say Ember Moon beats her in Brooklyn, and they bring her up right afterwards. The entire NXT women's division is on a more level playing field once Asuka leaves, because nobody's beaten Asuka. Yeah. People have beaten Ember Moon. Ember Moon's beatable. Yeah. She's not booked to be an unbeatable superhuman character like Asuka is. So as soon as the title's on someone like Ember Moon, the women's division in NXT becomes a more level playing field, and it'll be more believable to say a Peyton Royce or a Sonya Deville or a Mandy Rose or someone like that could defeat Ember Moon and win the NXT Women's Championship, when you would say right now that doesn't seem likely when Asuka's holding the title.
Are you a fan of all these undefeated streaks in NXT? Authors of Pain, about a year. Asuka, over a year. Bobby Roode's been going on for some time now. It's up for debate if he loses to Roddy or Drew later on in the summer. But are you a fan of these long streaks, or do you think it's kind of bad for business?
I would like the streaks better if the championships weren't involved.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, I don't think you need, as far as an undefeated streak goes, anything more than a year is too much for me in 2017.
I think with Asuka, they were so hamstrung with the main roster poaching their talent, they probably had no choice.
Well, yeah, you might be right. I mean, I was at the NXT live event in Maryland on Friday, and they're actually announcing her to the ring now as the undefeated NXT Women's Champion, Asuka. That's part of her ring entrance name now, the fact that she's undefeated.
Yeah.
So they don't do that for the Authors of Pain or Bobby Roode or anybody else. This has actually become a part of Asuka's current character.
Yeah.
So when she finally does lose, and I feel like she will, I feel like Brooklyn is the end date. I feel she's going to lose to Ember Moon there, and then after that, I think they're going to call her up immediately. I don't think there's going to be a rematch or anything. I think she's going to lose to Ember, and I think she's going to come right up right up to the main roster afterwards and show up on Raw or SmackDown that exact week.
Do you think the no contest with Nikki Cross? Do you think it leads to her possibly beating Asuka?
I don't think so, because I feel like these are midsummer feuds to pave the way to Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Next week we're getting Nikki Cross and Asuka in a last woman standing match. 2 weeks from now we're getting Bobby Roode versus Roderick Strong for the NXT Championship. I feel like these are the midsummer feuds that they want to get done on television and get out of the way before they go to the, no offense, but the real feuds that are going to be done for TakeOver Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's going to be Roode and Drew. I feel like it's going to be Asuka and Ember.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised to see both titles change hands in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't.
That's the bad thing about NXT being taped 4 weeks ahead of time. It's hard to change the title there, but at the same time,
they're taping this Friday, so I will definitely be scoping out the spoilers as I do, see if we do get any title changes or not at the tapings this week.
But at the same time, if it happens, Triple H always tweets it out, and it's big news.
Oh yeah. So WWE will tweet it out immediately if a title change happens.
Yeah, so I don't think they're exactly hamstrung from changing the title, but I think there's more money in Drew and Roode, though I'd love to see Roddy beat Roode. It's going to be a hell of a match, but I think there's going to be...
They actually went one-on-one on Friday at my show. I loved it. I thought they worked really well together. And you know who else worked really well together that I was incredibly surprised by? Because we haven't really gotten to see this on TV yet. Sonya Deville and Asuka work incredibly well together. It was Sonya and Mandy Rose against Ruby Riott and Asuka in a tag match, and the interactions with Sonya and Asuka were really freaking sweet. When they actually get to do a one-on-one match on NXT television, people are going to be surprised by how good that match is.
Awesome. Back to some headlines, some good news and bad news for Cowboy Bob Orton. The good news. He's alive and well. Apparently, there were death rumors that he had died.
Such bullshit, man.
But the bad news is, he hurt his hand again, so he's going to have another cast for about 6 to 8 years. So,
will you stop?
So, John Cena, he's a free agent. So WWE posted a video to explain why John Cena is a free agent. They said
which made it even worse.
During the Superstars shakeup, the multi-time champion was free and clear to balance between Raw and SmackDown Live, so that wouldn't mean every superstar not moved in the shakeup would be a free agent. I don't know.
Honestly, they tried to explain it, and their explanation made it even worse and more confusing than it was without them just not explaining it. Honestly, WWE, if you couldn't have come up with a better idea than that, just keep your mouth shut. Because it's not like you haven't done it before. You do things without giving an explanation all the time. I'd rather you had just done this without giving an explanation, because what you gave was shit.
Yeah, and I mean, hell, they did. Swagger was a free agent. They did that. We talked about that on our last show, I think.
Yep.
But yeah, it was weird. So weird, out of the blue. Free agent John Cena coming back. Okay, what the hell? Slammiversary is coming up on July 2nd in a couple of weeks, and Impact Wrestling has announced the commentary team, and it's an interesting one. Former ESPN personality Robert Flores, big pro wrestling fan, he is going to be calling play-by-play with none other than Don West.
Fuck yes.
Excellent.
This is actually the most excited I've been for TNA commentary in a very long time. Honestly, the only way they could have made this better is if it would have been Mike Tenay and Don West. But I completely get that they're trying to go for the mainstream media appeal of Robert Flores, who is a really funny dude.
Yeah.
I enjoy his content when I see him on ESPN or whatnot.
And he'll know his stuff.
I actually follow him on Twitter. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, I follow him too.
So I look forward to him and Don West interacting, and I think it'll be really good. Mike Tenay and Don West would have been like a dream for me because I loved their commentary team back in the day when I just loved everything about TNA.
Mike Johnson for POW Insider says there is a possibility Mike Tenay may return as well, but that is obviously not yet confirmed. Congratulations to Mr. Brian Myers. You know him better as Kurt Hawkins. Him and his wife, Elizabeth, celebrated the birth of their first daughter, Mackenzie Rose. So congratulations to the man that tells you to face the facts. 2001 King of the Ring version of Shane McMahon is going to also be available for the Ringside Collectibles figure. Of course, made famous with Kurt Angle suplexing him belly to belly through the glass, and I guess that breakable glass is included in the package. You see that, Matt?
Yeah, I did see it. I laughed. It's probably one of the funniest accessories I've seen with a Mattel action figure in a long time.
It's pretty cool. Impact Wrestling, amazingly, is trending upwards. They increased for the second straight week to 327,000 as they head to their WrestleMania. It's no surprise. Well, I haven't watched it in months, but bring it back, Don West. I will
tell you, the shows from India have actually been solid. The broadcast team in India has just been Borash and Matthews without Pope, and like the storyline was basically like if either, like Bruce Pritchard said, if either one physically provoked the other one, that they would both be fired. So while they take slight jabs at each other, it isn't anywhere near as annoying as it was when it started. So the commentary at this point is tolerable. I do enjoy, I have enjoyed the India taping so far, because the crowd has been much better than what we get in Orlando. And to me, it's just funny because I guess when you pay somebody in attendance to go watch your show, I guess you get good reactions. So
yeah, exactly.
Good job, TNA. Good job.
Yeah. I can't remember what numbers this pulled in last year, but American Grit week 2 for John Cena has a large jump from the premiere last week. It was a lead-in from the U.S. Open, so that kind of helped. So about 600,000 more people tuned into the second week of American Grit, so maybe that'll start getting some traction.
So what did it get total?
1.7.
Wow.
Yeah, last week was 1.1.
Look out, TNA. TNA wishes they could get the numbers American Grit gets.
We almost have
I think those numbers are a lot better than what they were getting in season 1.
I thought so too. I thought it was like under 1 million in season 1.
Yeah, like I remember like season 1's ratings being so bad, and everybody's like, "Well, this show ain't coming back."
Yeah.
But clearly, like seasons 2, like that's not too far off from what SmackDown did a couple weeks ago.
Never underestimate the power of John Cena, Jack.
Fuck John Cena.
Look at that. Raw and SmackDown have better shows this week, and look at that. They both see gigantic rebounds. Raw, 550,000 more people tuned into Raw overall. The key thing, Raw was able to maintain 3 million all the way throughout the show. 3.1 million was the overall score for Raw this week. A big hour 2 boost, 3.2 million. Hours 1 and 3 similar at about 3.07 and 3.03. So, I will note it's the first Raw to go over 3 million since April 24th, Matt. So hey, amazing.
To me, it says that the audience that tuned in at the beginning wanted to find out who attacked Enzo and Cass.
Yeah, and
it was clearly a storyline that the fans were invested in, and it made them stay for the entire show to find out what the answer was. And
SmackDown Live, a huge boost. Also, almost the same type of boost, a little less than Raw, but 520,000 more people tuned into SmackDown Live. 2.597, almost 2.6 million people tuned in for SmackDown. That is their best rating since April 11th. And Matt, this is kind of a rhetorical question because you know what I'm talking about. But and hey, I bet next week's numbers are good too. You know why?
Oh.
They put together matches and promoted them this week for next week's SmackDown.
Yeah.
What a concept.
I was very happy. Like, we've got 3 matches signed for sure for next week, maybe 4. If maybe I'm forgetting the 4th match, but for sure we have 3 signed matches that I actually want to see on SmackDown Live next week. Like, what a concept that you actually did something to make me, by the end of Tuesday's episode, make me look forward to tuning in to the following week's episode.
Yeah, it's a common complaint. Why don't they do this? But at the same time, they probably don't know what the fuck they're going to do the next week. So
the problem is they need to start planning ahead so they can do stuff like this.
Yep, they don't do that enough. And watch if SmackDown takes another nice hit up on the ratings. I mean, hello. There you go. It's amazing what you do if you can string together some stuff. And
I feel with the week of promotion, people know what the top 3 matches are next week. I feel if SmackDown goes from like 2-5 to like anywhere between 2-8 and 3, I think WWE needs to change their strategy going forward about announcing matches in future weeks.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Uh-oh.
Vince Russo files an order of protection against Jim Cornette. He is filing a petition for himself as an order of protection because he has been a victim of stalking from James Cornette.
Oh my God.
Mike Johnson, PW Insider, has a copy of the filed document that was filed 5 days ago. And yes, the box that is checked is I'm filing this petition for myself because I am or have been a victim of stalking. The petitioner is Vincent Russo. The respondent is James Cornette.
I'm actually looking at this right now. Holy shit.
What in the blue hell?
Wow.
Guess they won't be on table for 3.
I don't think Russo's going to be on any WWE programming ever again.
In case you've been living under a rock, the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight is on. It's on my birthday, by the way. August 26th. It's on Showtime, so hey, you don't have to pay $1 million.
It's not on Showtime.
Oh,
the pre-show's on Showtime, and if you want the damn match, you're gonna have to buy the pay-per-view.
And then Showtime will probably show it some way down the road. But Mauro Ranallo is going to be on the call. So
I'll go somewhere, like I'll go to Hooters or something, and watch it, or Buffalo Wild Wings or whatever. Whoever's showing the fight, I'll end up going because it's a spectacle, man. Like, I don't expect anything other than, Floyd dancing around and Conor trying to chase him for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
But at the same token, if Conor could just get one punch on Floyd, I feel like he can knock him out. Like, I really and truly believe he could just get one real punch on Mayweather, he could drop his ass.
Yeah.
So it's just the excitement of seeing if you can catch him, is the intriguing part of it for me. I would never pay for it, but I will go eat some wings and drink some soda somewhere and watch the freaking fight. So, it's certainly going to be extremely interesting.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would like nothing more than to see McGregor, shock the world and, put Floyd on his ass. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, this is on my birthday. I know what I'm doing the day of my birthday. We're going to a beer fest, so I'll probably be good and liquored up. So we may have to find a bar to watch this baby after the beer fest is over with, because it's gonna be lit.
Oh man.
David Otunga recently interviewed by Muscle and Fitness, and he has kind of told why he's not back in the Raw booth yet. Is filming for his story "Live to Tell" has been kind of delayed, so they have not even. I believe they said that the shooting hasn't even begun yet in Atlanta, Georgia, where they're filming it. So that's why Otunga has not been on TV. It's not because he's been replaced by Booker T. But it was kind of interesting when Otunga showed up on that pre-show and Booker was still on. You know, it was a little weird, but I don't know.
I think he's been replaced.
Yeah, maybe.
To me, they can say whatever they want. But to me, I feel like he's been replaced. And by the time he's finally done with these movies, much like the time Eva Marie was finally done with her movies, and they decided to move on from her, I wouldn't be surprised if WWE decides to move on from Otunga once this is all said and done. You know, somebody there likes Booker T on commentary. I'm sure it's Vince, because it sure as hell isn't me. But you know, when Vince likes something, they kind of keep it. I feel with Graves and Cole on Raw, I feel like they could overpower Otunga to the point where Otunga wouldn't talk.
Good point.
I think Booker talks too much.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like the commentary team on Raw would actually improve with Otunga in the booth over Booker. Because I feel like Otunga would not talk nearly as much as Booker does. And I'd rather hear freaking Graves and Cole anyway. You know, I don't like. I hate the 3-man booth. I hate it with a passion. It's not needed, and it's just not that. It's not entertaining. So it's whatever.
Yeah. Glow Wrestling Netflix original series debuts this Friday. It has been getting good reviews, so I'm gonna definitely check it out, see what it's like. But it's been getting some good reviews if you look at the Metacritic. So we'll have to see how that goes. Daniel Bryan recently did an interview with Sports Illustrated discussing his return to SmackDown Live, which happened this week. He also talked about a return to the ring. He says, "I'm working on it. Wrestling is more of a creative outlet, especially for somebody like me. I view it as my creative outlet. Not all WWE superstars and not all wrestlers view it that way, but that's how I view it, and that's one of the ways my mind works creatively." Is there ever going to be a day that the WWE is going to let him back in the ring?
I doubt it. I hate to be the downer there, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Like I don't see it ever happening. If the dude was 100% healthy, I'd love to see the man step in the ring again. But to me, I'm more worried about the dude's long-term health than, seeing him getting in the ring and wrestling again. So, it is what it is.
As we mentioned before, the former Chikara Grand Champion, Kimberly, she has a new name. Abby Lath is going to be her name in NXT. That was announced here by Mike Johnson today on PW Insider. Abby Lath will be the new name for Kimberly. So,
my God.
Fight Network is carrying the New Japan California debut live. That's going to happen July 1st. The special debut in California will include Okada against Cody Rhodes. Oh, I can't wait for that. I don't know. Is the title on the line for that?
Title's on the line.
Tag titles are also on the line as the Guerrillas of Destiny take on War Machine. And there will also be the beginning of the tournament for the United States Championship for the IWGP. The initial United States Championship will have 8 guys fighting it off. I don't know if this is how the brackets go, but the first round matchups include Naito against Ishii, Kenny Omega, Michael Elgin, Jay Lethal, Hangman Page, Juice Robinson, Zack Sabre Jr. Matt, who would you like to be your first IWGP United States Champion?
I'm not sure I'm going to say I would like him to be it, but to me, just what I've watched with New Japan lately, I feel the story is
Juice?
Elgin and Naito in the finals.
Oh, okay.
And I feel Elgin will finally get his big New Japan career-defining win by finally beating Naito.
So they're on opposite sides of the bracket.
They're on opposite ends of the bracket. And everybody tells me, well, that means Elgin has to beat Kenny Omega in round 1. And I know that, and I understand that, but just something tells me that Elgin and Naito are going to the finals. I don't know why. That's just, from what I've watched of New Japan recently, and Elgin getting so close time after time from beating Naito and not being able to get it done, I feel like this is how he's finally going to get that big win over Naito for the United States Championship. I could be completely wrong, and we could get like Jay Lethal versus Naito or Kenny Omega versus Juice Robinson or something in the finals. But I feel it's going to be Naito and Elgin, so we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, and we'll both be watching it, and so just a little housekeeping item. We will not have a show next week as I'm going to be out of state for a wedding. So our next show is going to be July 5th. So this will already have taken place. I should be able to catch a replay because I get back into town on the 2nd of July. So I should be able to catch a replay. So Matt and I should be able to break this down for you, give you our thoughts and everything on that as well. Two other matches that I need to mention that are going to be on this California show. The Intercontinental Champion Tanahashi and the Junior Heavyweight Champion Kushida, along with Jay White and David Finlay, will take on Yoshitatsu, Billy Gunn, Komatsu, and Sho Tanaka. Also, Jushin Liger, Volador Jr., Dragon Lee, and Titan will take on Bushi, Evil, Sonata, and Takahashi. Pretty damn good card, Matt.
Indeed.
Of course, it's going to be, their big United States debut, so it's probably going to blow us the fuck away.
Yeah, and the first night of the tournament's being done live on Access TV.
Yeah.
With commentary from good old Jim Ross and Josh Barnett. So,
hell yeah.
I as long as I don't have any plans that evening, and I don't think I do. I mean, I know it's a couple weeks ahead, something might come up, but I would like to watch it live as it happens. So hopefully that'll get to happen.
Yep. And our next show on July 5th will be our Great Balls of Fire preview show too.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. NXT tonight, I did not get a chance to catch it because I was napping. Old man needed his beauty rest, but Matt can fill us in. Peyton Royce took on Ember Moon. Ember Moon's first match back after being medically cleared. How did these ladies look tonight, Matt?
I thought the match was good. I think these two work well together, but I don't think the result of the match was ever in doubt. No. With Ember Moon picking up the return win. Much to the chagrin of Billy Kay at ringside.
Yeah, they got 2 months to light a fire up her ass. Get ready for Brooklyn. So
yeah, I don't think she loses again until she gets in the ring with Asuka, and I think she wins there too.
Cassius Ohno is in the back, and Atami stops by, and he says he's not letting what happened get to him. He apologizes for everything that happened, and Ohno accepts the apology. I'm not buying it, Matt. You?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with Hideo right now. It really seems like they're turning him heel. So we'll see.
Do they need to? Do you think he would benefit like on a Neville level for turning him heel, or
would you stop?
Or I mean, he was doing great on his own as a face.
I think he will do fine as a heel or a face as long as the dude doesn't get hurt again.
Yeah.
So
the Ely twins, Gabriel and Uriel, took on Sanity, Eric Young, and Alexander Wolf. What did you see out of the twins? Any improvement?
It really wasn't long enough to.
Pretty squashy.
Yeah.
They took a look back at the three-way dance for the title when it was the elimination three-way match when it came down to Asuka and Nikki Cross, and ended up in a no contest. And as Matt said earlier, next week on NXT, Nikki and Asuka for the title in a last woman standing match, which I love because I don't think we've ever seen that in the main roster, have we?
I don't think so.
Rachel Evers took on Sonya Deville. How'd that look? How did Sonya look for you here?
It was a good match. It was really about showcasing Sonya Deville. She's got a lot of talent, dude. She's progressed. Yeah. She's progressed really well. I was really impressed with what I saw from her at the live event on Friday. She's going to be a star.
Good.
There's no doubt about it.
I mean, when she was in there as Daria, I mean, obviously green, but I liked the gimmick. I liked the look. I thought it worked. when she had her interactions with Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. So I'm glad her official, reincarnation under Sonya Deville is working, and excited to see what the future brings. Main event. 2 weeks. They announced that Strong and Rude will go for the title. They had a backstage brawl. Strong attacked Rude apparently, huh? So Strong initiated the old fight to get Rude to put the title on the line, huh?
Well, Rude instigated it by
talking about his family,
talking about his wife right in front of her. So Roddy wasn't gonna put up with that shit. Roddy beat his ass. So,
there we go. Yeah, Bobby tells Marina if she wants a real man, call him. Oh,
yep. Yeah, Roddy snapped, and that's the reaction that he should have done.
Yep, exactly.
I thought it was really well done. So,
besides fucking amazing, how was Cassius Ohno and Aleister Black?
Dude, it was awesome. Like if you don't go back and watch anything else,
I'm gonna watch the whole show tomorrow. I'll watch the whole show tomorrow.
Yeah, you really need to. You really need to go out of your way and watch the main event. And that's for anybody listening. Like if you're short on time and you want to know something, you need to go watch Ohno and Black. I thought they had a great TV match.
This is basically the term gets thrown out a lot, but dream match ain't a big stretch for these two guys.
I wouldn't go as far as to say dream match, but it was really freaking good, dude.
Indie dream match, maybe.
Well, indie dream match, maybe. But they might have already wrestled on the indies, and I just didn't see it. Yeah. But their first work in NXT together, it was really freaking good.
With all my travels and being busy as shit, I haven't caught up with Ring of Honor lately much. But I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna watch this week's television for sure ahead of Best in the World. Then we'll quickly break down Best of the World in 2 weeks when we come back with our next show. But let's run down the card real quick. Obviously, also the television. This week's television is the main event when Kushida takes Marty Scurll's television title from him. So if you have not watched that yet, go out of your way to see that. That's going to be an amazing match. Best of the World 2017. Good card, I think, Matt. What do you think? It's a pretty solid card here.
Yeah, it's a solid card. It should be a good show. Best in the World pay-per-view from Ring of Honor normally pretty good. Best in the World and Final Battle, I feel, are normally ROH's two best pay-per-views every year. So I don't see this year being any different. It seems pretty legit.
We won't give our predictions just for the simple fact that we haven't covered Ring of Honor in a long time. But we will maybe this pay-per-view will kind of jumpstart us back into Ring of Honor going forward. But on the pre-show, Deonna Purrazzo and Mandy Leon take on Chris Wolf and Sumi Saki. Matt Taven and Vinny Marcelga from the Kingdom, they'll take on Ultimo Guerrero and El Terrible. I looked up those two guys. It sounds like these guys are a couple of longtime Lucha veterans, from what I saw.
Lucha.
I think Ultimo Guerrero was like 41, so if that tells you anything. I think they're some veterans in there. For the tag team championships, Bucks and War Machine. Do you sense a change at all here, Matt?
No. Because I don't think I don't think War Machine signed with Ring of Honor at the moment, and I could be wrong on that, and they might be signed, but I don't think they are. So for that I don't see a title change. I think War Machine might be under New Japan deals now.
Jay Lethal takes on Silas Young. That should be a very solid technical match.
I wonder if no offense to Silas Young, but I wonder if Jay Lethal's regretting signing that 2-year deal yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we said this before when he signed the deal. He had nothing left to do.
He didn't have anything left to do, which was why I was so confused that he was signing a new 2-year deal. But now, like, the longest rating, like, double champion in Ring of Honor history is relegated to the Midcard. And if I'm Lethal, I'm just like, man, why the hell did I sign this 2-year deal when I could be in NXT right now? I think it really comes across like he made a bad decision.
And I almost think Lethal has enough brand to not even to bypass NXT, but I mean,
no way.
I don't know. Strap match: Frankie Kazarian takes on Hangman Page. 6-man Ring of Honor championships. The champions, the Briscoes and Bully Ray, take on Dalton Castle and the Boys. I hope to God Bully Ray and the Briscoes do not lose that match.
I don't see them losing it.
Rematch for the television championship: Kushida and Skrull. Probably not a change there, unless there's some.
I wouldn't be shocked if they change it back.
Change it back because of the Bullet Club help, maybe.
Well, no, just because of the New Japan commitments.
Oh, Kushida.
You know, and how often they could have him over there for their TV and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they change it back.
So apparently Shane Taylor joined the Rebellion with Caprice Coleman, Kenny King, and Rhett Titus.
I still don't care.
What happened to Keith Lee?
I don't know. I don't care. The Rebellion. I hate the Rebellion stable, and it really sucks because I really like Kenny King. I really like Rhett Titus, but this Rebellion storyline it fucking sucks.
Yeah. 8-man tag match. The losing team must disband. The Rebellion, those 4 guys I mentioned, take on Search and Destroy, which is comprised of Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Jay White, and Jonathan Gresham.
God, I really want Search and Destroy win.
But I wonder who's winning, right?
Yeah, I would assume the Rebellion's probably going to win, but I really hope they don't.
And finally, for the Ring of Honor World Championship, the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels takes on Cody. I fully expect a title change here.
I'm not sold on it because Cody, because I have not been able to confirm that he signed a deal with the company. And to me, until I know for a fact that he signed a deal with the company, I'm not going to sit here and predict a title change. Because you don't put your world championship on somebody if they don't have a fucking contract with your company.
Yeah, maybe they kept it under wraps.
Well, maybe they did. And if they did, congratulations to Cody and Ring of Honor for inking the deal. But if they didn't, if I'm Ring of Honor, there's no way I'm putting my world championship on a guy who won't sign a contract with my company. Like, there's no flipping way.
And, hey, look, a little NHL news. The new announcement for the cover guy for NHL 18 just won the Hart Trophy, Connor McDavid.
Yep. A bunch of tweets from Operation Sports right now on my timeline talking about NHL 18. So
insane that dude is only 20.
Well, hockey players start young, man.
After that nice little hockey segue, let's go to Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns
what the
has
fuck
a big...
are they talking about hockey for?
I don't know, it just popped up on my phone. So. It was a great break between Ring of Honor and WWE, Nice clean break.
Penguins, back-to-back champs. Suck
we throw an NBA from time to time too. Oh, hey, the draft is this Thursday. This is probably one of my most looked forward to drafts in a long time too, by the way.
Because there's so much drama in the trade market right now.
Gonna be fun.
It's more about the drama of the trades right now than it is about the actual draft itself.
And on top of that, it's all about rooting for LeVar Ball to fall down in the draft.
Well, we're not rooting. We're actually, that would be unfair because we're rooting. That's rooting against his, like, I don't like LeVar Ball at all, but I don't want to see his kid suffer for it by falling in the draft. I feel like I'm a Lakers fan. I feel like we didn't.
Yeah, you are a Lakers fan, but you don't want him on your team.
No, I don't. But we didn't get rid of D'Angelo Russell to not grab Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
We got rid of the same position for a reason. Like, there's a reason we traded him away with Mozgov. There's no way we're not picking him up.
Well, my boys, the Celtics, sure did a shake-up there and traded the first pick away to take the third pick, and now
they're going to get who they wanted at third anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal for them.
Yeah, and I thought that guy was Josh Jackson, but apparently no, it may be Tatum from Duke. So,
and weirdly enough, the rumors right now that the Phoenix Suns are working out some kind of trade to trade away their fourth pick in the draft for a quote-unquote established superstar player. Yeah. Which some people are questioning if it's Kevin Love.
Well, I heard that
3-team deal or some shit. So
I heard Phoenix was also going to try to trade up to try to get Ball.
I haven't heard that. That's interesting.
Well, Yeah, but I mean,
if they get rid of the 4th pick, they sure as hell ain't getting Ball.
No. No, I mean trading up to get him. That
would be really hard to trade up into that top 3 right now.
Yeah. But man, yeah, it's gonna be a fun one tomorrow. All right, there's your sports break, brought to you by Diet Pepsi, because that's what I'm drinking right now. If you'd like to sponsor a sports break on Lost in the Midcard, we will be glad to give you a sports interlude into our episodes if you want to sponsor it. We will be very happy to oblige.
Why not?
Roman Reigns says he has a big announcement. He says he wants to take on the winner of Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar at a Great Balls of Fire.
What a shock we stalled about not wanting to talk about Roman Reigns.
Yeah, exactly. And then Samoa Joe's music hits, and I can't remember who said this. It might have been my good buddy John Canton, but he about Samoa Joe, how he just gets in the face. He doesn't, he's a heel that just gets right in your face, and that's what Joe should be. And I'm glad that they're doing Joe like they should do Joe on the main roster. So. Joe got into the face of Roman and said, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Samoa Joe, the true number 1 contender. And Reigns said he never thought he would agree with Paul Heyman, but to him, he will always be just Joe. Which is funny, because isn't there an indie wrestler called Just Joe?
There was a WWE guy in the Attitude Era called Just Joe.
Oh, my God,
Who would spread backroom, locker room gossip and say, hey, Don't hurt me. I'm just Joe. Like that was his entire gimmick. So yeah, it's a little weird that they're using that name now because it was a name of a character on WWE programming in the Attitude Era. But whatever.
And Joe said, "Fuck you. I'm a Samoan," and gave him a headbutt. And,
pretty much.
And went for the coquina clutch, but Reigns fought out of it and hit a Superman punch, and that was it. A very solid opening segment, though, I would say, Matt. You agree?
No, I enjoyed the opening for the most part. Now, I'm here to tell you right now, Roman Reigns is not challenging for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam.
No. Who do you think he's going to be paired up with?
You want to hear the rumor that I've heard?
Yeah.
Goldberg.
Oh, the WrestleMania match we wanted. We may get at the second biggest pay-per-view. I like that.
That's the rumor. I'm here Reigns and Goldberg and Strowman and Lesnar as your top cards on the Raw brand.
Are they making us look forward to things right now?
We'll see. I still want Joe to beat Lesnar. I just know it won't happen.
Oh, man. Amazing tag match, but I mean, hello. Best tag team of all time. Against a team that's gonna be one of the best of all time after it's all said and done. The Hardy Boys against Gallows and Anderson. I loved it. 10 minutes, great tag match between those guys. I just wish Gallows and Anderson would get a stronger push, but I mean their number will come back around eventually. Obviously, to nobody's surprise, the Hardys won here as they still are up in the air with Sheamus and Cesaro. But I thoroughly enjoyed that tag match there, Matt.
Yeah, I thought it was good stuff.
Goldust does another promo. Next week is in LA, so I think that's why they were stretching this out to get the showdown with Goldust and R-Truth in LA. So,
I couldn't tell. It's like is this going to be in a ring, or are they going to do like a Hollywood backlot brawl, or like what is their plan for this? Because they weren't super specific.
I don't think WWE knows at this point.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, though. I mean, granted, Truth and Goldust have been jobbing for the longest time, and so this feud as a whole doesn't seem great, but I'm kind of liking it. I mean, I'm not blowing my wad over it, but I kind of like it because of the simple fact it's old Goldust and old R-Truth. And so, and if this leads to old Goldust being back for this next run, and maybe a serious run at the Midcard Championship, awesome because I kind of like the old Gold Dust and the return to that. And so, it's not on paper not the most exciting feud, but I'm kind of excited because it's two veterans I like, and it's kind of going back to what they do best. So that's what I got to say about that. Elias Sampson continuing to impress me. He's adding more dickish things to his concerts week after week. Keep your cell phones down and hold your applause, and I just love it, Matt. I don't know about you. I know you've kind of warmed up to him since the main roster, but
I just feel like overall he's been used better on the main roster.
Yeah. Which is a weird statement because Triple H will tell you otherwise about most of his other NXT.
Well, he's correct. It's really weird that that this is he's actually being used better on the main roster than he was in NXT. But I don't view him as a top act for the company.
No.
So it really bothers me to see the people that they're pairing him up with right now. Because I feel like it drags those people down to his level. Because I don't feel it brings him up to their level. I feel it drags them down to his, and I just think it's a detriment to those talents that are being stuck with him right now. And we'll talk about it soon enough on who I'm referring to.
Here's the point, though, Matt. We're talking about Finn Balor because Finn Balor interrupts him. I loved another line. I need complete silence while I'm tuning my guitar. Finn Balor interrupted because it wasn't for them to have a match. Finn actually had a match. It just wasn't against Samson. Samson just walked away. Back to this, though. And we've said this at the Superstar Shakeup. The main event scene for Raw is way overloaded. So we got to have somewhere for these guys. Finn Balor. Kevin Owens on SmackDown, so you gotta have somewhere, and if I'm not saying Samson beats Balor in a match. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying if Samson can get a win over one of those guys that have been in the main event, that's how you build a mid-card. And there is just no mid-card in the WWE right now, and that needs to be fixed. Right now, you're putting your main event guys in the mid-card to make the mid-card interesting, but you need to build that mid-card as well. So that's kind of my soapbox on that whole thing.
Yeah.
You need to, but you agree, right? The mid-card is complete shit right now.
No, I'm not arguing, but I mean that's WWE's fault.
And you could say the mid-card is lost to the mid-card.
I will not say that. So
Finn Balor took on Bo Dallas, and I absolutely enjoyed Bo Dallas's flurry to start the match. It didn't last long, but it lasted longer than most flurries in short matches. So I kind of enjoyed the fire, but it didn't take long for Balor to get the upper hand, hit the coup de grace, 4-minute match. But that won't be the last we hear of Bo Dallas. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Corey Graves acted unprofessional on camera again. Had to leave the announce position while on camera. What an unprofessional. All right, Matt, I'm gonna lay it down for you. Let me see what you think. I have a theory. I'm not using Mark Cho's theory. That's kind of like way out in outer space.
Are we talking about the angle theory?
But I have a theory.
His theory's awful.
The pregnant one, yes.
It's so bad, Joe. It's terrible.
That's way out in left field. But I do think there is going to be some sort of proof of an affair 10 or 15 years ago with Angle and Stephanie. Triple H is feeding things to Corey Graves because he is setting Corey Graves up to be the successor at GM.
I don't like that at all.
This leads to, because we're going to get Triple H and Kurt Angle rumored at SummerSlam, Triple H and Kurt Angle. So Triple H is feeding some of this stuff. Corey Graves is kind of I'm on your side angle kind of thing right now to tear him down from the inside. This all of a sudden leaks somehow. Notice how Corey Graves was the one that found that footage at the end of Raw. I wonder who else kind of fed that to him. So I think Triple H is feeding him this stuff to sabotage Angle, but at the same time he's acting buddy-buddy with Angle until he completely just fucks him. And that's going to lead to Corey Graves being a heel GM. I
hate it.
Yeah, I hate it because he's such a good commentator.
Yes, because Corey Graves is the best thing that's happened to a broadcast team in the WWE color-wise in probably the last 2 decades. I'm not talking play-by-play like Morrow, but I mean, as far as color goes, I feel Graves is probably the best to do it for WWE since Bobby the Brain Heenan. And I will stand by that statement. You can disagree and argue with me all you want, but I feel like Graves is the best to do it since Heenan did it. And I will hate putting him in a GM role and taking him out of that commentary table. I will hate that with a passion.
Yeah. That's my gut feeling right now.
Can you imagine it means the fucking Raw commentary team will be Cole, Otunga, and Booker T. Imagine you're doing this to us, JB. You are wishing this into existence. This better not happen. This better not happen.
I'm not wishing it. I'm just hypothesizing. But the only saving grace would be Corey Graves gets replaced by Austin Aries.
Yeah, but I don't want to see Aries out of the ring either.
It's not. It's going to be Otunga and Booker. Otunga will be the good guy. Booker will be the bad guy. And
no.
You're only reacting like this because you see it as a feasible.
Well, because Vince is a moron, and I see anything that's stupid as feasible through Vince. Look, Angle's from Pittsburgh. Graves is from Pittsburgh. It's the Pittsburgh connection helping each other out. Just because they're both getting the same messages, Graves probably doesn't know. I don't think Graves is trying to set up Kurt Angle. I really don't. And if he
I hope you're right.
And if he is to get the GM job, it's just so fucking terrible.
I hope you're right.
I don't want to see Kurt. I don't want to see Kurt Angle as a part-time wrestler anymore. He's not going to work a full-time schedule. Kurt's not going to be a full-time guy ever again. He's perfect for the GM role. He's done a really good job as the GM of Monday Night Raw. I don't want to see him being put back in the ring. I don't mind the part-time matches. He gets a match and fights a match at SummerSlam, fights a match at WrestleMania, something like that. I'm cool with that.
Just like what Shane does.
Yeah, but yes, exactly. But I don't want to see Angle back in the ring on a more consistent basis. That does not work for me at all.
It's just my weird feeling.
You also got to keep in mind, WWE is going to want Kurt Angle on their television very prominently between now and October 17th to push that 2K18 pre-order bonus. So to take him out of the GM role and to have a match at SummerSlam and then just disappear off TV afterwards would not be good for the pre-order bonus.
Who says he would have to disappear off TV?
Because he's not going to be back as a full-time competitor. So if he's not GM and he's not a full-time competitor, there's no reason for him to be on TV.
Unless the match is for him to retain the GM, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, that I could see. I could see that. Like Angle's GM,
So Corey Graves is like a short-time replacement as Triple H removes him, but then they have a match to get Angle back in the position.
No, it's just his GM's position would be on the line. I don't see him ever losing it, but it would be if Triple H beats Kurt, he loses his. He has to step down as Raw general manager or something like that. That I could see, but Angle's not losing the match, so it doesn't really matter.
No. Now with Graves, I can see the need to, or not the need, but I can see the want to have more with Graves because obviously he was a good character in NXT. So, I mean, he obviously is good. He's the best color commentator in the business right now. I agree with you on the Heenan statement. Maybe even a little closer. He's the best since the heel Jerry Lawler with Jim Ross in the Attitude Era. In time, I think he could surpass Lawler if given the chance. I'm not going to put him above Lawler just yet, but I don't disagree with your statement either. But Corey Graves is good at what he does.
For me, the only way I would want Graves out of the broadcast booth if he was suddenly able to wrestle again.
Yeah.
Like if he was able to, if Graves was somehow cleared from his concussions, and he was able to step back in the ring and do what he loved again, and he wanted to do that.
And for him to do it on the main roster,
yeah,
that'd be an
exactly.
amazing story.
Like more power to him, and that's really cool. And I would understand the reasoning for them doing that, just like I understand the reasoning for Aries leaving the 205 Live commentary team once he was healthy to step back in active competition. Even though Aries was awesome on the 205 Live commentary, and I enjoyed him very much. I understood the man wants to get back in the ring, and he belongs in the ring. He has a future as a color commentator once his career is done, but it's not done yet. So,
yeah, it's very interesting what all this is happening. But yeah, that's just my theory. We'll see. They did the announcement for Seth Rollins. I believe they showed the trailer too on Raw, if I'm not mistaken. But the announcement of Seth Rollins as the cover man for WWE 2K18. Seth Rollins comes. Kurt Angle. Before that, Kurt Angle backstage talking on his phone. Corey Graves shows up to talk to him. Enzo and Cass show up as well. Angle asked Enzo why would he send a tweet like that to Conor McGregor. And Cass says they have been attacked week after week, and all you want to talk about is a tweet. And Enzo says the common theme is the revival. Cass thinks it's the Big Show. Kurt says, I will solve this by the end of the night. And I said, bring in the fashion police to crack the case.
Well, they would have. They wouldn't have needed the footage. They'd have figured it out.
I know. So there's your little tease to hold the audience to hour 3. Seth Rollins comes out to celebrate him being on the cover. This was like a lot more emotion and passion out of Rollins than we normally see, and I liked it. I don't know. I don't know why we don't get this more from him.
Oh, I feel like the entire thing was a very out of character promo for him, and that's why we don't normally see that, because he wasn't trying to be Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
You know, I think he was like legitimately speaking from his heart. He was excited to get the cover. He's excited.
He's a big time gamer.
Yeah,
so.
At the appreciation of the fans, and I think the whole thing really touched him on an emotional level, and he was able to go out there and just speak from the heart. And I think that's what you saw on Monday night.
And congrats to Seth Rollins for yet again winning the Up, Down, Down Madden tournament by absolutely destroying AJ Styles.
I heard AJ got really mad.
It is so...
I didn't see it, but I heard AJ got really mad.
It is funny. It's about 40 minutes long. It's good stuff. AJ blames it on him being an Xbox player. And,
I get that. I don't like switching controllers when I'm used to being on another system. I get that.
Yeah. I've played enough on both to where it doesn't bother me, but yeah, then it's good stuff. Watch it. On Up, Down, Down. Bray Wyatt interrupts Seth Rollins. They talk back and forth, setting up an obvious match against each other at Great Balls of Fire. But I thought it was pretty cool. Lights go out, and Rollins, when the lights come back on, he's already in the air and diving on Wyatt.
And
I thought that
somehow cut his face.
From what I heard,
I watched the replay like 3 times. I couldn't see where he cut his face.
From what I heard, because I heard Wyatt was bleeding too. From what I heard, Wyatt's tooth might have caught Seth's cheek somehow.
That's interesting.
From what I heard, But I thought
because I went back and I watched it a couple times. I'm like, where did they connect that his face would be bleeding? And I couldn't find it. And then I saw he got the stitches afterwards after Raw was over. I'm like, yeah, well, he was definitely cut. Because at first when I first saw it, I'm like I was talking to my buddy on Twitter, Ultra Liger. He was like, oh, he definitely looks cut. I'm like, well, maybe that was just his wet hair sticking to his face. And he's like, no, he's like, the hair wasn't connected. It was definitely a cut. And I went back and watched the replay, and I'm just like, I can't see where the dude would have gotten cut. But yeah, clearly he got cut. That's crazy, man. So
Finn Balor interviewed by Charlie Caruso and talked about his getting focused to get his Universal title back. And also put over how devastating Joe's Coquina clutch is. And then he's attacked from behind by Elias Sampson, following back to Finn Balor interrupting Sampson earlier in the day. You sigh, but I
do sigh, because the first ever Universal Champion is stuck in a fucking feud with Elias Sampson.
We gotta build that main card. But here's something funny. Devon Dudley breaks up the match, or breaks up the fight. Where was Devon every time Cass and Enzo were getting attacked? Oh, yeah. Only one of those two were attacked, weren't they? Little tease.
It's such a dork.
The crowd kind of got into it when they realized Devon was the guy to break him up, because I believe is that Devon's first on-screen.
That might have been his first on-screen appearance in a producer role.
I think he was on TV in a suit before, but with like a big group and like a pull apart type of deal. But yeah, this is his first kind of Finlay type of deal. So that's pretty cool to see him get involved there and tell those two kids to break it up. Akira Tozawa and TJP, they gave us an 11-minute match that was pretty damn good. So I was pretty happy for those cruiserweights. Akira Tozawa getting the win, obviously, because they're grooming him as the next competitor for Neville's title. I probably know the answer to this, but what are you thinking about the whole Titus brand thing coming into 205 Live?
Garbage. The only thing worse coming into 205 Live right now is Alicia Fox's cell phone angle.
I did not watch 205 Live this week either.
Well, you saw it from last week. They did it again on 205 Live Tuesday night with Fox on the damn cell phone.
I didn't watch 205 Live the week before either. So.
It was on Raw.
But I know what you're talking about.
They did it on Raw last week too.
Yeah.
It's
awful. Guess what? I watched the Hulu version of Raw because you told me it sucked, and that part was cut out.
Oh, Hulu, maybe you are the better version of Monday Night Raw.
Because they can.
That is a blessing on life and wrestling fans everywhere that they cut that entire segment and match off of that show.
So I've missed the last 2 weeks of 205 Live. I'm gonna.
You missed some pretty great main events. You really need to go back and watch.
Yeah, I'll get caught up maybe tomorrow when I go back and watch NXT as well. So to explain to me this ridiculous cell phone thing.
It's freaking Noam Dar is FaceTiming with Alicia Fox because she's quote unquote at home recovering from a neck injury. And she's screaming at the top of her lungs the entire time. And when Noam Dar comes to the ring, they put the fucking cell phone on the Tron, like when Tyler Breeze did the selfie cam in like NXT and stuff, and they put the phone on the Tron so you could see what he was taking the pictures of. Like they were putting Fox on the freaking Tron. As she's screaming at the top of her lungs the entire time. It's so fucking annoying.
Oh, boy.
And I was so happy when it wasn't on Raw Monday night, and then they brought it back on SmackDown. Not SmackDown, but they had it on 205 Live Tuesday. The only good thing about it is it was at least it was just a backstage segment, and it wasn't involved in a match. So that made it slightly more tolerable, but it was still really fucking bad.
R-Truth did his promo in response to Goldust, and he accepts the showdown, whatever it's going to be. From what I'm gathering, Matt, it's an invitation, so they're going to be in the same place at the same time. Who knows what's going to happen though? Probably going to be like a. Didn't Goldust have like a talk show, like Ms. TV back in the day?
I feel like he did, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Joe was interviewed by Charlie Caruso. Joe asked to show the clip of what happened last time Roman faced him in a singles match, and that was a win for Joe. Joe said he's going to leave Roman a broken man and told Roman be careful what he asks for. And he also told Reigns, you better put some respect in when he says my name. That leads us to what I thought was going to be the main event, but no. Just before the top of hour 3, Roman Reigns took on Samoa Joe, Matt, and I think it delivered. What'd you think?
Oh, yeah, it was a great match, and I loved the ending.
A very hard-hitting match between these guys. Went 18 minutes. At the end of the match, though, we hear beep, beep, beep. And it's an ambulance backing up in the parking lot. And inside the ambulance, it's Braun Strowman. Of course, we all know Braun Strowman wasn't hurt for 6 months. But the WWE wants to lead you to believe this was a huge surprise. And, man, how about the pop for Strowman when he appeared?
He's over, brah.
Man, I mean, we've said this before many times on the show. The WWE did it right when they built this guy, and it's proving it right now with the crowd. And hey, Matt, what did Braun say to Roman while he was standing on the ambulance there?
I'm not finished with you.
And
he didn't say it on the ambulance. He didn't say it until he got to the ring.
Oh, is that what he's okay?
He did a giant roar when the ambulance opened. He just stood there and did a pose and roared before heading to the ring.
The distraction enabled Joe to put on the coquina clutch, and Reigns went to sleep. Good night, Roman. Braun comes out to the ring, and yeah, he goes, Roman, you've seemed to have forgotten. I'm not finished with you. He slams Roman down stomach first onto the mat and says, if you think you're man enough, I will see you at Great Balls of Fire in an ambulance match. The match we were supposed to get at Extreme Rules, but hey, injuries happen, so we're going to get it at Great Balls of Fire, and that's okay. We got ourselves a great Fatal 5-Way match out of it due to the minor injury for Strowman. So,
yeah,
good to see.
Just the match. The match we were going to get at Extreme Rules. We're getting at Great Balls of Fire. That's not a bad thing at all.
What has been entertaining for the I'd say at least since Maurice came back, Miz TV has been always entertaining. This time, Miz's guest was none other than Maurice. It's always good to hear Maurice's old song. I just wish she was. Do you know anything about? Does she want to get back into the ring, or do you know anything about this?
No idea. I wish I knew, but I don't know.
Obviously, Miz is trying to kiss up to Maurice because he destroyed her grandfather clock and all that fun stuff. And so Maurice is Miz's guest on Miz TV. Miz is apologizing for everything and had a big present for her. It was the grandfather clock all put together and fixed. And they kind of made up. But then, that old antagonist, Dean Ambrose, came to the ring, and Maurice got some champagne on her, and then Miz charged at Ambrose, and he moved out of the way, and Miz tackles the grandfather clock, and Maurice got mad again and left the ring. There were a couple of dancing bears in the ring, and all of a sudden they're hovering over Ambrose. It looks like the pep talk from Miz worked, as a backstage segment earlier in Raw, Miz tried to recruit Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, and those were the guys in the Bears. They attacked Dean Ambrose, beat the hell out of him, and so Miz now has a stable. The Entourage is kind of the early name for it, and Matt, I love it because it gives something for Bo Dallas and Kurt Axel to do.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. The only reason I have an issue with it is if you want to believe Dave Meltzer, he said that was pretty much his Maurice's exit from television storylines on Monday.
Why?
That he's saying in favor of Miz working with Axel and Dallas, that they don't need Maurice on TV anymore, and that was pretty much that. He's saying that was the end of Maurice on TV on Raw. So I really hope that's not the case.
Maybe it's just a break.
I don't see any reason why she can't manage a stable. I don't understand that logic at all. But if you want to believe Meltzer, that's what he's saying, and I don't like that at all. I think Maurice has done nothing but absolutely positively enhance freaking Miz's career since she's come back, and I think taking her dynamic away from him could hurt him extremely badly long term.
Yeah, because it was clear for the past 14 months, Miz has been a much more motivated man and has performed well. So yeah, hopefully Meltzer's wrong there. The tag champs, Cesaro and Sheamus, took on Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews. Apparently they're turning the Titus brand babyface now. I don't know. But this lasted
all garbage. I don't care.
This lasted all of 4 minutes with the champs getting a quick win. They showed an awesome video package with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Of course, it's awesome because, in these video packages, Lesnar gets to talk. So, very good stuff there. Called Joe a punk-ass bitch and said at Great Balls of Fire, welcome to Suplex City, bitch. Great stuff by Lesnar there. God, I just wish they would give him a live mic more often. I know you're in the same boat, right?
He doesn't want to talk.
You think that's a him? That's a his
I guarantee. Yes, I guarantee that's a him decision because the first night he came back, and he had to cut a promo on him by himself without Heyman. He went in the back, and Vince was like, "That was rough, pal." And the first, Lesnar's response was pretty much, "Go get on the phone and bring back Paul." I know it wasn't those exact words, but that was pretty much what he told him to do, because he doesn't want to be the one that has to cut his promos every week. He likes that pre-tape stuff. He doesn't like doing the live shit in the ring. So, that's his decision. That's not like a WWE thing. That's what he wants to do.
So, WWE completely fucked the women at Money in the Bank, and here it is, 2 hours and 50 minutes into the show, and we have not seen anything from the women's division.
Yeah.
And basically what happened then was basically not much either. It was a whopping 2-minute match that ended in DQ, and that was they did no favors to the women again with that segment on Raw. And Raw concludes with Kurt Angle attempting to solve the mystery attack story. Big ovation for Angle, you suck chants, and all the like. Enzo and Cass make their entrance. Kurt says he's going to bring out some suspects. The Revival come out. Big pop for the Revival. Welcome back to the ring there. Hopefully they can get in the wrestling match here pretty soon. And Big Show comes out to a nice ovation as well. Big Show's kind of been over lately. I think the crowd has realized the hard work he's put into getting in shape and everything, and so he's been getting some nice pops when he comes out as well. Big Show says that Enzo and Cass are both soft. If he was going to attack them, he'd do it to their face. And Show warned Cass not to look at him like a kid, and called him kid. And Show got mad at Angle for thinking he would have done this and left the ring. Then Angle brought up the Revival. Dawson says they've had nothing to do with it. And Angle says, after talking to referees, producers, and officials, I don't think it was the Revival. So he has cleared the Revival of all wrongdoing. And then all of a sudden, Corey Graves stands up and says, I've got some footage. Maybe it was the return of GTV. I don't know.
Why couldn't Corey have just given this footage to Kurt when he was backstage with him earlier in the night?
don't know, man.
There's that WWE logic again.
Or it's Corey Graves slowly sabotaging Kurt Angle. The footage shows Now, actually, Vince is probably like, "You're right!" The footage shows Big Cass setting up the attack. OMG. Cass says, "You damn right I did it."
So stupid.
Enzo was great here, though, man.
I'm not arguing that.
You're just saying the whole thing, pulling the trigger this soon.
Yes. There was so much more that could be done for that tag team.
Yeah. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but let's cover what happened. Enzo's shocked. Cass talks about how Enzo constantly runs his mouth about God knows what every single minute of the day, even with Conor McGregor. Cass says he didn't attack Enzo for months because he felt bad for Enzo. He felt bad that people in the back did not like Enzo. Cass spoke about how he's put up with Enzo's crap every single day until he finally snapped. Cass admitted that it felt damn good when he attacked Enzo from behind. Cass said that he wanted to watch Enzo suffer because of all the crap he had to put up with NXT and on Raw. Cass pointed out that he cooled things down when the finger was pointed in the direction because he wanted to see how smart Enzo was. Cass calls Enzo dumb and says he's even dumber than Cass thought. Cass talked about how Enzo's been holding him down. He has said Enzo is the reason Cass has not held a title in the WWE. Cass is the star, is where the money is, and says, Enzo, we are through, kicks him in the head, stood over him and says, you can't teach that. Before we talk about how stupid it is to pull the trigger this early, Matt, great promo by Cass. Cass did a hell of a job here in this turn. I was glued to this whole segment, which the show ran really long too, by the way. Cass did an amazing job with the promo. Enzo, man, put the tear down his face. Man, Enzo.
Yeah, I felt Enzo, honestly, as good as Cass's promo was, I felt Enzo sold it even better than Cass sold his promo.
Man, the tear down the eye. You know, that was some good shit. And talking storylines, Cass saying Enzo has no friends. Well, after this, I think Enzo's going to have a lot of friends. So, a lot of people are like, oh, God, the Big Show's turning heel or he's leaving or walking out an Angle. No, I think Big Show and Angle are going to patch things up. And obviously, Big Show's going to stand up for Enzo, and it's going to lead to Cass and Big Show. Are you in agreement with that?
I don't know, dude, because the way Big Show walked out, and the way he buried both Enzo and Cass, on the way out, says to me, like, I don't really know how they put him with Enzo now, which is what I originally thought they were going to do, and now I'm second guessing that on the way Big Show was scripted to be on Monday night.
Well, I say that Enzo is in need of a friend, and Big Show is a good guy at heart, so they will apologize, and he will take the fight up for Enzo. That's my gut feeling on how that's going to play out.
Guess we'll
and
see.
Then him and Angle will patch things up as well. Is my whole guess on that. But yeah, timing aside, Matt, that was a great end to Raw, wasn't it?
Yeah, I like I said, I enjoyed both Raw and SmackDown very much.
Yeah, we'll get to SmackDown a little bit, but woo, and that got people talking too. I mean, a lot of people thought this was coming, but the way it was done, how well it was done, Enzo and Cass doing great. It got the internet a talking, man. So props to the WWE. I can't wait to see where it goes next, man. But yes, we'll go to the negative side of things way too fucking soon. But at the same time, Matt, 9 to 12 months down the road, if this singles push for Cass doesn't work out, they can always make up and reform. There's time.
Well, every tag team that splits up never made, as of late in WWE, has never made up and gotten back together. So,
but if anybody can, it'd be Enzo and Cass because they make money. Money. Yeah. I did not catch 205 Live this week, Matt. Did you? And was it good?
Yeah, it was a good show.
Gallagher took on Tony Nese. Basically, Gallagher being paired up with Austin Aries. Nese stood up to Austin Aries when he made his announcement that he's not medically cleared. Tony Nese gets the win because obviously they're going to set up a feud with Austin Aries once he gets back into the ring. Oh, there's that Noam Dar FaceTime with Alicia Fox. Yawn. Drew Gulak took on Mustafa Ali, continuing their feud. Mustafa Ali gets the win this time around. Austin Aries talks to Jack in the back, and Jack says he's not comfortable. Austin says we may need to cut corners because you're talking about Neville, Tony Nese, and T.J. Perkins working together. Jack says he's not comfortable about cutting corners. Aries says Jack has helped him over the last few months and he appreciates it. Aries suggests that they are the international men of mustache. Does somebody else kind of join this fold, Matt, to counteract the bad guys, you think?
I don't really see Perkins and Neville working together anymore, and I don't see Nese working together either. So I think it's just a mini storyline thing because if Aries is hurt, this gives him something to do on TV until they're ready to put him back in the ring. So
and plus since Aries is a good guy, kind of a chance for him to thank Jack for having his back for the whole Neville feud kind of deal. Non-title match, Neville took on Rich Swann. What'd you think of the main event at 205 Live, man?
Another great 205 Live main event, dude. They don't have bad main events on 205 Live. You know, people might not be watching the show, but if you want to see a good main event for pro wrestling, 205 Live consistently delivers with a great main event every week.
And finally, this week, SmackDown Live, we kick it off with Miss Money in the Bank, Carmella. And she claims that her name's been trending worldwide for the past 48 hours. And she said it's not because she won the match, it's because how she won, and mentions all the complaints towards her. And she says, who cares? And she says that she's been overlooked ever since she was the last pick in the draft last year. Complained about the other women in the match, and none of these things matter because Carmella is just intelligent and such and such. She talks about how there was interference in past Money in the Bank matches and says the fans are pathetic, and points out that it's a no disqualification match. And there you go. Matt and I differed in this. I thought a lot of people thought that Carmella did great on this promo, but why didn't you? Why didn't you like it?
I thought she came across as a terrible whiny crybaby. Then she went full blown crybaby on Talking Smack later that night, which to me solidified everything that I needed to know, that the fact that that's what she was going for. She's going for a crybaby gimmick, and if that's what she wants to do, that's fine.
Talking Smack, yes, crybaby. Here, no. I mean, she was still the briefcase. She was the winner still. To me, she was still crying. I didn't see a crybaby here. I saw like a braggadocious. I don't give a fuck.
I completely disagree.
So I enjoyed it. Daniel Bryan, well, welcome back to SmackDown Live. You got yourself a debacle on your hands. Charlotte Flair walks up to him and says that Bryan needs to act on this thing and such, and basically setting up every woman coming up to Daniel Bryan before the big announcement. They announced that Nakamura and Ziggler will take on each other, and in the main event, Luke Harper and Jinder Mahal. The New Day walking backstage with a skeleton that had the New Day One Ish shirt, or the Usos Day One Ish shirt on it. Oh, that was so funny on Talking Smack when they were on there. That was like almost the perfect Talking Smack storm. Daniel Bryan returns. The New Day's on. AJ Styles is on. That was a great Talking Smack, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Talking Smack was great this week. It's amazing how much better that show is with Daniel Bryan on it compared to when he's not.
And going back to the controversy, we didn't talk about it, but Nakamura on Talking Smack, I think he was just kind of misspeaking. I don't think he said that Ziggler's going to Japan. I think he misspoke.
Well, I'm telling you what I heard, pal, and what a lot of people online heard too. So
I know, but it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. But I think I think Nakamura just got his words mixed up a little bit. Just my gut feeling on all of that. The New Day come out to the ring. They talk about how they wanted to be there with the tag titles, but the Usos escaped that penitentiary. And Woods said that he wants the Usos to enter their playpen, since the Usos call it their penitentiary. It's the New Day's playpen. And Kingston called Big E the Warden while he's saying he has a big nightstick. Oh, look, Big E with a dick joke. And all that fun stuff. This led to a singles match that only went about 4 minutes between Big E and Jimmy. Big E gets the win, obviously, to set up New Day. Do you put this at Battleground, or do you hold this off to SummerSlam?
Battleground.
What do you do at SummerSlam?
I do a multi-tag team match at SummerSlam.
Okay. Because you know how we don't like rematches on the big shows, you know?
No, I would do it. There's a lot of up-and-coming hot teams on SmackDown right now. I would do a multi-tag team match at SummerSlam.
Video aired for free agent John Cena returning on July 4th. Naomi interviewed by Dasha. She says it's a shame that things went down the way they did at Money in the Bank, but she's confident that Daniel Bryan will make the right decision. She's ready to go no matter what. Lana shows up and says, because of Carmella's stupid distraction, I lost. I want a rematch. And Naomi said, okay. Rematch next week for the Women's Championship. That pretty much says Lana's new champion, right?
I think so. I think they actually go with exactly what I wanted them to do at Money in the Bank. I think Becky Lynch wins the briefcase, and I think Lana gets the title. Because I see envisions in my head of how hilarious it will be Lana running away from Becky Lynch with that briefcase.
She'll do like that little scream.
Yeah, like I feel like the two of them could put together a lot of comedic gold with Lana just doing everything in her power to stay as far away from Becky Lynch as possible. I think they could do a lot. I think they could do a lot of great stuff there. I definitely see a title change on Tuesday.
Sit down interview Randy Orton and Tom Phillips. That was a good one. Orton talked about how he lost control when the Singh brothers put their hands on Bob, and Orton says he beat himself. Orton speaks at how he knows how the numbers game worked because he's done it before. Legacy. Evolution. He can't deal with people disrespecting his family, though. Orton talked about how this is no longer about winning his 14th WWE title because that's far from over. He says he didn't care if he hurt the Singh brothers because they put their hands on his dad. Orton says that he would even go to India to attack Mahal's uncles and cousins if he had to. And Orton ended it by saying that Jinder made a mistake and now there's no turning back. That's going to be a very expensive RKO flying to India, by the way. What'd you make of this? Sounds like Orton's not done with Jinder, huh?
Punjabi prison match.
And Orton wins, and then Corbin cashes, huh?
I think it'd be very hard for Corbin to cash in on somebody who just completed a Punjabi prison match to get through to cash in that briefcase.
Well, what if Orton's on the outside all beaten and broken?
But then he would have to get for Barrett to cash in, he would have to put Orton through all the bamboo again to get him back in the ring to pin him.
Well, it may happen. Yeah, that's right. It's not like the hardcore title where you could pin him anywhere.
I don't know.
Shinsuke Nakamura, Dolph Ziggler put on a fantastic 17-minute match. Absolutely loved it. No surprise, though, with two of the better workers in the company. Bryan was Daniel Bryan talking backstage with Sami Zayn. Bryan told him that he's got a match with Baron Corbin next week, and Zayn's all confident because, hey, I beat him 3 times, and Corbin's winning that one.
Yep.
Becky Lynch walks up to him, and she had an interesting exchange with Sami Zayn. That was kind of weird.
I think it was just done to show things from a male superstar's perspective. I honestly thought they did a really good job with that there.
Yeah, it was just not weird. Weird wasn't the right word. It was different. Different interaction. Lynch files her complaints to Daniel Bryan, and obviously playing off the drama, what he's going to do next. Kevin Owens, the face of America, shows up, and I'm just waiting for the moment that he accidentally walks on his face, and he's not thinking about it. I still think it's hilarious that he walks around his face. That's just awesome. But, of course, Kevin Owens is awesome, so. He says it's time for an open challenge, and, well, here's how open it's going to be. He's only taking on competitors from Dayton, Ohio. AJ Styles came out. Oh, nope, you're from Gainesville, Georgia. Sorry there, buddy. To everybody's surprise, welcome back, American Alpha.
Well, Jason Jordan for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, Jordan.
I don't know why Jordan didn't come to ringside with him. That was weird.
Why couldn't he?
I just thought it was really weird that he came out of the entrance hall and then disappeared. There were actually some people online who thought it was going to be Ono.
Oh.
Because he's from Dayton. So they thought maybe there was going to be a surprise call up that nobody saw coming. And they were going to call Ono up, but yeah, that didn't happen.
But a nice, pleasant surprise that was Chad Gable, though, right?
I mean, I liked him, but I didn't get it. I mean, we haven't seen these guys on TV for it feels like 2 months now, and the first time we see him back is Chad in singles competition losing to Kevin. I mean, don't get me wrong, the match was awesome. Those two worked really well together, and the match was really good. But I don't know if I feel the best way to reintroduce American Alpha back to TV was a singles loss from Chad Gable to the United States champion. It was kind of weird to me that's what they decided to go with.
It was unfortunate. I mean, though it was one of the picture-in-picture commercials, it's still unfortunate because half of the match was in that commercial. So, but good stuff from those two guys. None of the drama that we've seen, with John Cena U.S. challenges where he nearly gets beat by Stardust. There wasn't really much near falls for Chad Gable, but a sick German suplex. Oh my God, that was so sick by Gable. But he ends up going into the pop-up powerbomb, losing in a 6-minute match. But a very good with what they did in those 6 minutes, though. Ryder and Raleigh are in the office talking to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan has got a lot on his plate. Busy week of SmackDown for him. They showed where they earned the number one contendership last December, and Mojo says they deserve a title shot. Bryan says, I will give you a match against the Usos next week, and if you beat them, then you get a title match. They both think that's fair, and thank Bryan for the opportunity. Is this where they turn Ryder heel?
They either turn him heel here, or they turn him heel, or they win and lose in the title shot. I'm not sure. Tyler Breeze pointed out an interesting thing. On a tweet Tuesday night with the bro fist thing that they do. Zach and Mojo both did the bro fist thing, and Zach did the explosion thing, and Mojo didn't. And Breeze was kind of hey, why didn't you do the explosion thing, Mojo? So maybe Mojo's the one that they're going to turn heel. I'd prefer it to be Ryder, but
Well, to be honest, I never do the explosion if someone does it either. I just
but they always did it as.
Oh, did they always?
Yes, they always did it. They always did it as the hype bro. So the fact that Mojo didn't do it kind of makes you question. Tyler Breeze actually outing him on Twitter about it was certainly interesting. So maybe the fashion police are on the case of Mojo Rawley already.
Great detective work by Breezy there. Very good, very good. Decision time for the Money in the Bank briefcase, and let's just make it short. The women are going to rematch in a Money in the Bank ladder match next week on SmackDown. Gee, Matt, where did we hear that?
I have no clue, sir. I don't know.
I kind of said that when Daniel Bryan tweeted. I kind of said, he's going to have a Money in the Bank ladder match on SmackDown. I said that at the Money in the Bank post show. Hello!
I know, I'm just giving you shit. Calm down, McMahon.
You're welcome. No, I was just talking to the public, not you. Sorry. I wasn't yelling at you. I was just bragging.
All right.
Well, I wasn't really bragging. I'm more like, hey, WWE listens to our show. I mean, hello. I mean, here's Exhibit Z, because, I mean, we're all out of letters now with all the exhibits that is proof that WWE listens to our show, right?
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We do. Then Carmella goes into cry mode, and oh no, and then all the women attack each other, and oh no, she's left in the ring with Charlotte and Becky Lynch, and she's crying and saying, please don't hurt me, but they hurt her. I'm happy for this because God, was this the... Okay, let me ask you, too. Well, before I say why I'm happy for this because a woman's going to grab the briefcase, guaranteed, on Tuesday, but...
Yeah, they're not dumb enough to do this again.
Well, talking smack, Brian said Ellsworth's banned from ringside anyway, yep. So... was this in reaction to all the backlash, or was this the plan all along?
It depends on who you talk to. Some people have told me this was the plan all along. Some people have said they had a plan and they changed the plan. You know, I mean, it honestly, it all depends on who you talk to on this one thing. It could go either way.
When you say it was the plan all along, you could see that because a lot of people talk. It wasn't positive talk, but a lot of people talked about how that match ended. A lot of people talked. So I think Vince is like, yeah, I got what I want, pal. All right, now we'll fix it. So I could see how it was the plan all along because Vince just wanted people to talk because he knew there would be an uprising that a woman did not grab the briefcase. So I wouldn't put it past Vince that this was the plan all along. And that's not all, kids. Non-title match for the main event. Once again, Luke Harper, nice ovation. Hello, push the guy. I thought him and Jinder had a pretty serviceable match. Not amazing by any standards, Matt, but I thought it was very good. I thought Luke Harper did well in the main event. And of course, we got a little tease, Baron Corbin coming out. What did you think of the end of SmackDown tonight?
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I didn't see the ending of the main event. Something came up. I had to go, and I never saw the finish. And I came back in a couple minutes for 205 after 205 Live started. So, in no way did I feel anything of merit was going to happen. So I didn't care.
Yeah, nothing of merit happened, but a very good near fall. There was a believable spot where I thought Harper was going to get the win and be like, oh my God, they are going to push him. But no, then the Singh brothers got involved and then the Colossus. So, there you go. That was SmackDown Live. That was not the end, though, because Mahal is posing with the title when Randy Orton's music hits. Singh brothers try to cut him off at the pass, but he throws them both into the barricade. Hits a Thez press to take down Mahal. Running clothesline gives Mahal a suplex. Spine first into the barricade. Draping DDT on the floor. Fucking awesome. Awesome beat down by Orton. Clearly this feud is not over yet. And it all ended with an RKO on one of the Singh brothers as Mahal escaped through the crowd. So good stuff there by Randy Orton at the end. Good stuff by WWE this week. And on behalf of Matt and I, please keep this fucking going. Don't get into this pattern that we've had, for the love of God. That's going to do it for this additional loss to the Midcard. Programming note, I am gone next week out of state for a wedding, so there will be no show. I don't know, Matt. Unless something like absolutely major happens on Raw, we could maybe do a post show, like a quick post show. But other than that, we won't have a regular show because I won't even be around Tuesday to see SmackDown Live. So we'll be back at you July 5th after the Day of America. We could talk about the mighty return of free agent John Cena and get you set up for Great Balls of Fire. But thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. Make sure that you search for Lost in the Midcard, and if you haven't already done so, please tell your friends to do so we can get the word spread of the gospel of the Lost in the Midcard people. And we're also on the YouTube. Links to all those subscriptions are on our notes section of our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. Also on the Twitter, we share all sorts of great stuff from the world of professional wrestling on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast. Matt's on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we're right off into that sunset, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
Gotta hope Great Balls of Fire is better than the last 2 WWE pay-per-views.
On paper, it seems like it's gonna be, right?
Well,
I mean,
a lot of things on paper seemed. Money in the Bank on paper seemed like we were gonna get a really great show.
Well, that's why I said on paper.
Yeah,
that's why I said on paper.
I'm not super hopeful of that yet.
No. I just, my only hope is please don't job Joe, for the fucking love of God. But yeah, on paper, it's shaping up nicely. Hopefully they can continue the momentum. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back at you on July 6th. I'm sorry, July 5th when we're recording, but the show will be July 6th. So until then, enjoy it, kids. We'll talk to you soon.